Do you go on amazing trips with your family only to have your kids forget the details when they get back home? I'm going to teach you my special method for how to get your kids to remember every single trip and vacation you ever went on. Back in 2017, we took our family to London on an amazing trip, and I didn't expect much from my 7-year-old and my 9-year-old in journaling, but I came up with a method that made it so that they could journal and they remembered day by day the details to this day. No matter what grade your kids are in, I'm going to teach you a way that is fun and easy to get them to journal about their traveling. And the funny thing is, I found I loved doing this for myself as well.
I remember my 2017 London trip because I circle journaled it. I wrote my favorite places that I went in those 8 days. My favorite was going to Paddington Station, and I really liked it because I watched the movie a couple days before we left.
When I was 7, I went to London, and this is my circle journal that I made when I was there. I tracked each day and the weather, and my favorite day was when we went to the Princess Diana Park. And I really loved going there, and I wrote about it and drew about it.
Be sure to stay tuned to the end where I teach you some tips on how to cultivate a love for journaling in your kids. For many of us, we don't want to bring our personal journal along with us on a traveling trip. I have information here that I can't afford to lose. So this is a really great method for keeping a journal that is on one page and it's the entire trip. So we circle journal it. You can go really simple and basic with it all written in. You can illustrate it like I've done here for the London trip, and these are what my kids look like. It's amazing. They did these at 7 and 9 years old, and I cherish these, and they remember exactly what happened that day when they look at this. And don't worry, it doesn't all have to be done in art. The art just really helps the kids see and visualize their whole trip. You can just write the whole thing out. This was our Disney trip this year, and I just wrote it all out. I didn't draw any pictures except for little sunshines and clouds and that kind of thing. If you haven't already watched our video on how to make perfect circles, you're going to want to go check that out on our channel. I want to help you get started on your circle journaling journey. So be sure to stay to the end, and I'm going to tell you how to get a free gift to help you on this journey. So I'm going to show you 2 examples here. One is fully illustrated that I did with my girls in London, and this one is all written. This was our Disney trip we just did this year. I usually start with a little flag to indicate that this is the day that we started on. In the large cells here, I've put a picture of what I felt best represented that day, what I wanted to remember. We were in a big nature study about weather during this time, so we all kept track of the weather, which was very, very cold. But you could easily pop these words of these lists of the places we saw in those individual days down into this area instead if you don't want to record the weather. You can use this for anything. There is no right and wrong. You could even pop the title and date of when you went into the center. I chose to put a picture. And this one that's all written, again, I start with a little flag. Look, it's our Disney trip, so I have Mickey Mouse there. And just writing down real brief little recaps of what happened. Did this every night, and these were half days, so they only got half space. Now let me show you on our blank template here that you'll learn more about in our video, but you can use the outer rim to write the names of the days or more information about what was going on. There's really no right or wrong how you can do this. You can draw pictures, you can use 2 squares per day if you wanted. You could even use a whole circle for the day if you saw a ton of stuff and each thing deserves its own little special note and its own picture. You can just go crazy with this. There's just all kinds of ways, and you could even add other circles to add other notes, maybe names of people you've met and places you saw in the center here. Now in our next video, I'm going to be showing you how to use a phonology wheel. This is actually what this is called, is studying the process of something that continues in a cycle in a nature study with your kids. That is our next video on circle journaling. On our trip, I made sure that we spent a few minutes every night working on this project and filling in the days section. To help my girls, I used postcards and pamphlets of all the places that we'd been that day so they could get the spelling right and remember what they saw that day. Now for the tips about how to bring out the best in your kids' journaling. The biggest thing that holds us back from writing, and especially kids, is fear. Fear of judgment. So this is really a time to cultivate a love for learning how to journal, not learning how to spell, not learning how to draw. This is a time to love to write down your thoughts. You do not want to criticize your children's artwork or their spelling. This is just not the time. You're training them how to have a love for journaling that is going to last them all their life. And it is more important to teach that right now than it is to make sure that they make the perfect drawing or that they spell the words correctly. Especially if you have a child who struggles with perfectionism. This is just not a place to be perfect, and encouraging them that this is just a time to just let it all be on the paper. And the best way to do that is you do one too. And don't correct your spelling. No, don't freak out about it. Don't freak out if your castle doesn't look like the castle that you just went to. Don't worry. Just do it, and don't criticize yourself. Set the example by not criticizing yourself. If you're really concerned with the spelling, you can put out the postcards and pamphlets of where you've been that day so they can see how everything was spelled. And you can encourage them to ask you, but let them just write. Drop their ideas down on the page. That is creating a habit of getting their thoughts onto paper while they're still fresh in their mind. If you'd be interested in a video on how to constructively criticize your children's art, if you'd like a video on how to do that properly, I would love to. Leave it in the comments if you would like to see that. So I'm going to be giving away a PDF package of a 3, 5, 7, and 12 day circle template. But to get this free PDF, go to our Facebook, like us there, and find our video that we just posted, and comment, and we'll send you a free PDF. Thank you so much for joining us, and please check back every Saturday. We're going to have a new episode of Learning with the Pod. Be sure to check our channel on Monday, where we have a new show, On the Go with the Pod. This Monday, the king of the pod, my husband Anthony, is going to teach you how to extend your food budget when you travel with kids.
Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell.
And make sure you comment down below on where you went in your travels.
It doesn't matter what grade your children are in, I'm going to teach you a way that is easy and fun to get them to travel about their journaling.